90 seconds. That's how long it took to destroy everything Marcus Webb believed about combat. 90 seconds to show a Navy SEAL that size, strength, and war experience meant nothing against principles he'd never trained to fight. But this story doesn't start with a punch. It starts with an officer in a white uniform pointing at Bruce Lee, about to set something in motion nobody expected. Naval Amphibious Base Coronado, California. June 15, 1968. 23 Navy SEALs stand under a celebration tent. Banner reads, Navy SEALs Celebration 1968. These men just survived Hell Week, survived training designed to break normal soldiers. They're now the deadliest operators the military produces. Captain James Richardson stands at the front in white dress uniform, 52 years old, 30 years of service. He introduces the guest. Gentlemen, Mr. Bruce Lee consults with military programs on hand-to-hand combat. He brings a different approach than standard combatives. We continue learning, always. Polite applause. Bruce Lee walks forward, 28 years old, 5'7", maybe 135 pounds, black Chinese outfit, standing next to SEALs who average 6 feet and 190 pounds. He looks out of place. At the front stands Marcus Webb, shirtless, 6 feet, 195 pounds, arms covered in military tattoos, unit insignias, deployment markers, scars from operations nobody discusses, 26 years old, 3 Vietnam deployments, real combat, firefights, ambushes, hand-to-hand situations. He's killed men up close, survived because he's bigger, stronger, more brutal. Watching this small martial artist, something rises in his chest. In real combat, the bigger man wins. That's what war taught him. Bruce demonstrates techniques: trapping, intercepting, minimal movement, economy of motion, center-line control, structural principles. Some SEALs watch with interest. Marcus watches with skepticism. This is theory. Real fighting is chaos and violence. When Bruce asks for questions, Marcus speaks loud enough for everyone. Sir, with respect, Kung Fu won't work here, won't work against someone trying to kill you. I've been in combat, real combat. What wins fights is size, strength, violence. That's reality. The tent goes silent. Marcus challenged the guest instructor. Captain Richardson's jaw tightens. He's about to intervene. But Bruce raises his hand slightly, asking for space. Richardson lowers his hand, gives Bruce room. Bruce responds calmly. You've survived situations that would kill most men. I respect that completely. But did you win because of size alone? Or because you acted first? Read the situation. Because training kicked in at the right moment. Marcus crosses his arms. Mostly aggression. Hit first. Hit hard. Don't give them a chance. That's what kept me alive. Bruce nods. That works. It's kept you alive 3 deployments. But what happens when you face someone who moves before you commit? Who uses your aggression against you? Marcus's jaw tightens. Then you adapt. We're trained to adapt. Bruce stays calm. You adapt to what you understand. What happens when you encounter principles you've never trained against? Then Bruce says something that changes everything. Would you be willing to test that? You try to control me using your size and training, whatever grappling techniques you know. If Kung Fu doesn't work, you should control me easily. You're bigger, stronger, more experienced. Should be simple. The challenge hangs in the air, direct, unavoidable. Marcus glances at Captain Richardson. The officer points toward the center. Permission granted. They move to the cleared space. The formation creates room. Marcus outweighs Bruce by 60 pounds. His arms are thicker. Reach is longer. In grappling, size matters. Everyone knows this. Bruce says quietly, "Use whatever you want. Try to control me." Marcus doesn't waste time. He's done this hundreds of times. Reaches for Bruce's collar and sleeve. Standard control grip. His hands are fast. Technique is sound, but his hands close on nothing. Bruce shifted. 3 inches. Marcus's grip finds empty air. Before he can adjust, he feels pressure on his wrists. Light pressure. Specific points. His hands open involuntarily, not by choice. Something in his nervous system makes them. The grip fails before it's established. Marcus resets. Combat instinct. Goes lower. Shoots for double leg takedown. Get underneath. Drive through. Take him down where size matters most. His arms wrap around Bruce's thighs. Should be automatic, except Bruce's weight isn't where it should be. His hips shifted back. Structure changed. Marcus can't drive forward, like pushing a wall that absorbs force but doesn't move. Then Bruce's hands settle on his neck. Gentle pressure, guiding. Marcus tries to resist, but his body is moving anyway, not forced, guided. Weight shifts onto his toes. Structure collapses. He's holding Bruce's legs but completely off balance. Vulnerable. Bruce's voice comes calm. "You're committed. Weight forward. Structure broken. Can't defend from here. In combat, this is when you're most vulnerable." Marcus releases, pushes back, stands. His face is flushed. Not from effort, from confusion. That shouldn't have happened. His technique was correct. His strength should have been enough. The SEALs are dead silent. They saw it. Their teammate got controlled by someone significantly smaller. Something worse than anger rises in Marcus's chest. Doubt. He tries third approach, feints low, then reaches for upper body clinch. Get arms around torso. Use weight. Control spine. His arms close around Bruce's body. For 1 second he has it. Then Bruce moves. His body shifts. Structure changes. Weight distributes differently. Suddenly Marcus isn't holding Bruce. His arms are wrapped around where Bruce was. But Bruce slipped the clinch. Minimal movement. Marcus is holding air. Arms extended. Chest exposed. Structure broken. Bruce is standing beside him, one hand on Marcus's neck, other near his ribs, positions that in combat would be fatal strikes. Throat, kidney, spine. Bruce steps back, releases contact. "You're powerful. Technique is sound, but you're imposing strength. When I don't resist, when I redirect, your tools stop working." That's encountering principles you haven't trained against. Not a failure of your training, a gap in your knowledge. No triumph in his voice, just fact. Marcus stands there, mind trying to reconcile what happened with what he knows. He's grappled hundreds of opponents, but this martial artist made him feel helpless, made his training feel insufficient. The silence is absolute. 23 SEALs watching something that contradicts their understanding. Size should matter. Strength should matter. None of it mattered against Bruce's movement, against his understanding of structure and timing. Marcus stares at Bruce, not with anger, with recognition of a gap he didn't know existed. Finally he speaks, voice quieter, less certain. "How did you do that?" I've trained grappling for years, combat application, against bigger opponents, and you made it useless." Bruce's response is gentle, not useless. "Your technique works, your strength is real, but you trained against opponents who resist strength, who meet force with force. When someone doesn't resist, when they redirect, different rules apply. That's understanding principles your training hasn't covered yet. It's not your fault. Your instructors taught what they know. But combat has many dimensions. What I showed is one you haven't encountered." Marcus looks down at his hands. Hands that have killed. Hands that controlled dangerous men. Hands that just failed completely. Something cracks. Not his body, his certainty. The belief that his experience taught him everything important about combat. He looks up. "I was wrong. What I said about Kung Fu not working here. I was wrong." His voice carries across the tent. Public acknowledgement, public humility. Bruce steps closer. "You weren't wrong about combat being different. You were right. But effectiveness comes in many forms. What you know works. What I showed also works. Combined, they make you more complete." Marcus extends his hand. They shake. Captain Richardson addresses the formation. "What you witnessed is valuable. Petty Officer Webb is one of our best. Mr. Lee showed us something we haven't trained against. That's not weakness. That's opportunity to improve." Bruce teaches for the next hour, not techniques, principles, how to read commitment, use minimal movement, redirect force. The SEALs are engaged. Marcus is particularly focused. He experienced how these principles work. After the session, Marcus approaches Bruce privately. "What you did wasn't tricks. You showed me something real, something I need." Bruce nods. "Your experience is invaluable. What I showed doesn't replace it, adds to it." Marcus writes down Bruce's school address. "When I'm stateside, I want to train, learn what you know." Bruce gives him the information. "Come with empty cup, ready to learn." Marcus takes it. "I'll be there, and I'll bring some of the guys." Bruce smiles slightly. The more who learn, the better. Years after Bruce Lee's death in 1973, Marcus Webb still talks about that day. Not about being defeated, about being shown a gap in his knowledge, about having certainty shaken in a way that made him better. He becomes a combatives instructor, teaches new SEALs, integrates what Bruce showed him, teaches them size and strength matter, but so does structure, timing, redirection. That real mastery means remaining open to learning. The 23 witnesses never forget when their teammate tried to control the martial artist and failed completely. When they learned combat effectiveness doesn't always look expected. That experience alone isn't enough. That's what happened when Marcus Webb told Bruce Lee Kung Fu wouldn't work. What happened in those 90 seconds didn't just leave the unit silent, it left them changed.